The Earth has always appeared permanent. Mountains seem too immense to move. Oceans appear too vast to disappear. Continents feel as though they have occupied the same places forever. Every sunrise quietly convinces us that tomorrow's world will resemble today's, but that feeling is one of the greatest illusions our planet has ever created. Nothing on Earth has remained unchanged. The highest mountains were once hidden beneath warm tropical oceans. The driest deserts were once covered by forests where rivers wandered through green valleys filled with life. Entire coastlines have vanished beneath rising seas, while new islands have emerged from volcanoes that did not exist only centuries before. Even the ground beneath your feet is traveling. Every continent drifts silently across the planet, carried by forces so slow that no human lifetime can witness the journey. The Earth never stopped changing. It simply changes at a speed that makes us believe it stands still. Yet beyond our atmosphere, change moves much faster. The solar system is not an empty wilderness. It is filled with ancient travelers. Fragments of worlds that never became planets. Pieces of mountains wandering through darkness. Iron-rich bodies forged inside forgotten planetary cores. Frozen rocks carrying minerals older than the Earth itself. They travel endlessly around the Sun. Some quietly cross the orbit of Mars. Others venture beyond Jupiter before slowly returning. Most never come close to our world, and because they almost always miss us, we rarely think about them. When a meteor flashes across the night sky, it lasts only seconds. A brief streak of light, a moment of beauty, a wish. Then darkness returns. Few people realize they have just witnessed a tiny piece of cosmic history disappearing forever above their heads. Our atmosphere performs this miracle every single day. Every year, tens of thousands of tons of extraterrestrial material enter Earth's atmosphere. Dust, pebbles, fragments no larger than your hand. Almost all burn away before reaching the surface. The sky quietly protects everything below it. It has done so for hundreds of millions of years, but imagine that one impossible rule suddenly changed. Imagine every asteroid whose orbit could eventually cross Earth's path, arriving together, not over millions of years, not over centuries, not one after another, all at once. The night sky would no longer belong to the stars, it would belong to the solar system itself. Every direction would reveal movement, every horizon would glow. The familiar constellations that guided sailors, inspired civilizations, and filled humanity with wonder for thousands of years would slowly disappear behind an ocean of approaching world. At first, they would appear harmless. Tiny moving points among countless stars, almost beautiful. But appearances have always been deceptive. Because distance in space is unlike anything we experience on Earth. Something that appears no larger than a grain of sand may actually be a mountain hundreds of kilometers away. And every second, it is moving faster. Gravity quietly begins taking control. Earth reaches outward with an invisible hand, gently pulling every approaching object into a steeper path. Acceleration becomes unavoidable. Silence becomes tension. Across observatories around the world, telescopes struggle to count what should be impossible. One object becomes 10. 10 become hundreds. Hundreds become thousands. Every calculation reaches the same terrifying conclusion. The solar system has become a single incoming storm. Yet while humanity watches the sky, the Earth continues behaving as though nothing has changed. The Pacific Ocean still breathes beneath gentle waves. Trade winds continue crossing the Atlantic. Clouds drift peacefully across the Amazon rainforest. The Sahara glows beneath afternoon sunlight. Snow continues falling across Antarctica. The Himalayas remain frozen above the clouds. Nature has not yet noticed what is coming. Or perhaps it has noticed long before we did. High above the atmosphere, birds migrating across continents suddenly alter their paths. Whales abandon familiar routes through the Pacific. Deep beneath the oceans, creatures that have never seen sunlight begin reacting to vibrations still impossible for human instruments to measure. The planet has always communicated through motion. Life has simply learned how to listen. Hours later, the first asteroid crosses the orbit of the Moon. It is still impossibly far away. Yet, for the first time in history, humanity can watch an approaching world with the naked eye. A tiny point of light slowly moves against the background stars. Then another. Then another. Within minutes, the heavens begin changing shape. Constellations disappear behind moving lights. Darkness becomes crowded. The universe itself seems alive. Every object carries a different story. Some are fragments of shattered planets destroyed before Earth even existed. Others are metallic worlds forged inside the blazing interiors of ancient protoplanets. Some have wandered through space for 4 billion years without touching another object. Now, every journey ends here. The first visitors finally reach Earth's atmosphere. At the edge of space, nothing happens. Then suddenly, everything happens at once. One brilliant streak tears across the darkness, then another, then hundreds. Within moments, the entire sky ignites. Not with stars, but with fire. The atmosphere. Earth's invisible shield. To most of us, the atmosphere feels empty, invisible, weightless, something we rarely think about unless clouds gather overhead. Yet it is one of the greatest natural defenses ever created. Stretching nearly 100 kilometers above the surface, this delicate blanket of gases quietly protects every ocean, every forest, every mountain, and every living creature beneath it. Without the atmosphere, Earth would already resemble the moon. Oh, scarred, airless, silent. Every incoming asteroid must first fight through this invisible ocean. As each one plunges toward the planet at extraordinary speed, it slams into billions of air molecules every second. The air cannot move away quickly enough. Pressure rises instantly. Temperatures soar beyond several thousand degrees. Rock begins melting. Metal vaporizes. Entire asteroids explode before ever seeing the surface. For billions of years, the atmosphere has won almost every battle. Tonight, the battle is different. Because the enemy never stops coming, one explosion lights the Pacific sky, another appears above the Atlantic, the third flashes across northern Asia, then Africa, then South America. The atmosphere becomes surrounded by expanding spheres of white fire, each brighter than lightning, each louder than thunder. From space, Earth no longer appears blue. It becomes a glowing world wrapped in light. Yet even this remarkable shield has limits. The smallest asteroids disappear. The medium-sized ones fracture, but the largest continue falling. And one of them is descending toward the greatest geographical feature on our planet, the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean, Earth's greatest landscape from space. The Pacific Ocean is the first feature your eyes notice. It doesn't simply occupy part of the Earth, it dominates it. Stretching across more than 165 million square kilometers, it covers nearly 1/3 of the planet's surface. If every continent were placed together, there would still be room left within the Pacific's enormous blue expanse. Yet its greatest wonders remain completely invisible. Beneath those calm waves lies the largest mountain range on Earth. Thousands of volcanoes, endless underwater plains, canyons deeper than anything found on land, and trenches so immense that if Mount Everest were lowered into the Mariana Trench, its summit would still remain more than 2 kilometers below the surface. Very little sunlight has ever reached those depths. Temperatures hover just above freezing. Pressure becomes so overwhelming that it would crush an ordinary submarine like an empty can. Yet even here, life exists. Transparent fish drift through complete darkness. Giant amphipods crawl across silent plains. Forests of strange tube worms gather around volcanic vents where boiling water escapes directly from Earth's interior. The Pacific has always been more than an ocean. It is another world. Its story began nearly 200 million years ago, when the ancient supercontinent Pangaea slowly began breaking apart. As continents drifted away from one another, a vast ocean basin opened between them, growing wider with every passing million years. Even today, that journey continues, but the Pacific is never truly still. Along its edges, gigantic tectonic plates move only a few centimeters each year. Too slow to notice, too powerful to stop. Some slide past each other. Others dive beneath neighboring plates, disappearing into Earth's mantle before melting into magma once again. That endless cycle created the Pacific Ring of Fire, the most active geological belt on the planet. More than 75% of Earth's active volcanoes stand along its rim. Most of the world's largest earthquakes begin here. From Chile to Alaska to Japan to Indonesia, the Pacific quietly reminds us that beauty and power often share the same landscape. Standing beside its shores, nothing suggests the enormous forces hidden beneath. Children play on quiet beaches. Fishing boats cross gentle bays. Coral reefs glow beneath crystal clear water. The horizon stretches peacefully toward the sky. Everything feels permanent. Then, the shadow arrives. At first, no one notices. Far above the clouds, an asteroid nearly 15 kilometers wide silently enters Earth's atmosphere. Unlike the countless smaller objects that burned away before it, this one refuses to disappear. Its surface glows white, then orange, then brilliant blue. The air ahead of it compresses so violently that it becomes brighter than the sun itself. Across thousands of kilometers, daylight arrives where night should still exist. The Pacific is about to witness something it has not experienced since the age of dinosaurs. For one brief heartbeat, the ocean remains calm, then the asteroid touches the water. There is no splash, no towering wave, no dramatic explosion, only silence, followed by a flash so bright that satellites briefly lose sight of the ocean beneath them. The asteroid punches completely through the Pacific in seconds. Billions of tons of seawater are instantly transformed into superheated steam. The ocean floor, hidden beneath kilometers of water for millions of years, suddenly lies exposed beneath an expanding crater larger than many nations. Dark volcanic mountains emerge where sunlight has never reached. Ancient lava plains appear for the first time since they were created. Even the Mariana Trench briefly loses its endless darkness as unimaginable forces tear through the deepest place on Earth. Then, gravity remembers. The walls of water begin collapsing back toward the empty crater, not as ordinary waves, but as moving mountain ranges. Walls of water, hundreds of meters high, surge outward across the Pacific basin in every direction. They do not simply travel toward coastlines, they rewrite them. Islands disappear beneath advancing seas. New channels carve through low-lying land. Ancient beaches vanish forever. The Pacific has always shaped the world. Tonight, it reshapes it faster than ever before. Yet while the ocean rises, another invisible chain reaction has already begun. Because beneath the Pacific, the Earth's crust has awakened. And the first place to answer is Japan. Japan, where the Earth never truly sleeps. If the Pacific Ocean is Earth's greatest body of water, Japan is where that ocean reveals its restless heart. From above, the Japanese islands appear elegant and peaceful, stretching like a curved chain between the deep Pacific and the Sea of Japan. Snow-covered mountains rise behind modern cities, while thousands of rivers descend rapidly toward the coast, feeding fertile valleys where millions of people have lived for centuries. It is one of the most beautiful landscapes on Earth. Yet almost every part of it exists because the planet refuses to stand still. Unlike most countries, Japan does not rest upon a single piece of Earth's crust. It stands where four enormous tectonic plates struggle endlessly for space. The Pacific Plate continues diving beneath northern Japan. The Philippine Sea Plate presses from the south. The Eurasian and North American plates resist from opposite directions. Every single day, the islands move. Most of those movements are too small to notice. Some measure only a few millimeters. Others release enough energy to remind humanity that the ground beneath its cities is still alive. That is why Japan became a nation of volcanoes. More than 100 active volcanoes rise across the archipelago, each one connected to magma created far below the surface where descending oceanic crust melts into molten rock. Among them, one mountain has become a symbol of the country itself. Mount Fuji, perfectly symmetrical. Snow-covered for much of the year, standing quietly above lakes, forests, and ancient lava fields. To millions of people, it represents peace. To geologists, it represents patience. Fuji is not extinct. It is waiting. Then, the Pacific changes everything. The enormous impact sends shockwaves racing beneath the ocean floor. They travel through solid rock faster than a passenger aircraft, crossing thousands of kilometers before reaching Japan's eastern coastline. The first response isn't volcanic. It's silent. Sensitive instruments detect movements that have never been recorded before. Ancient fault lines begin slipping. The seabed flexes. Pressure that accumulated over centuries suddenly redistributes in minutes. Across the Japanese archipelago, mountains tremble, lakes ripple without wind. Temple bells begin ringing on their own as invisible waves pass beneath them. Then the coastline moves. Entire sections of the seafloor rise by several meters. Elsewhere, it sinks. Fishing harbors become unfamiliar. Coral reefs emerge briefly above the tide before disappearing again beneath surging water. The islands are not breaking apart. They are adjusting to a planet that has momentarily forgotten its balance. High above the forests surrounding Mount Fuji, thin columns of steam begin rising from hidden fractures. Not because the mountain has chosen to erupt, but because the entire volcanic system beneath Japan has begun breathing differently. The familiar shape of the landscape remains, yet every force that created it has suddenly accelerated. Japan reminds us that mountains are not monuments. They are moments, brief expressions of a planet still under construction. But while Japan shakes along the Pacific's edge, another chain of volcanoes is already responding. Thousands of kilometers to the south, more than 17,000 islands scatter across warm tropical seas. Some were born from coral, others from fire. Together, they form one of the most extraordinary archipelagos on Earth. And tonight, the volcanoes of Indonesia begin telling the next chapter of Earth's story. Indonesia, where oceans create fire. If Japan reveals the Earth's restless edge, Indonesia reveals its restless heart. Scattered between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, more than 17,000 islands stretch across the equator like emerald stepping stones connecting two continents. From the air, the archipelago looks almost peaceful. Turquoise reefs surround tropical beaches. Dense rainforests blanket volcanic slopes. Rivers disappear beneath thick jungle before reaching warm coastal waters. It seems like paradise. But paradise here was built by catastrophe. Indonesia exists because two enormous oceanic plates have spent millions of years colliding beneath Southeast Asia. Each collision melts ancient seafloor deep beneath the crust. That molten rock slowly rises, building volcano after volcano, island after island. More than 100 active volcanoes now rise across the archipelago, making it one of the most volcanically active regions on Earth. Some peaks release gentle clouds of steam. Others sleep for centuries before suddenly transforming the landscape around them. Even the famous island of Krakatoa reminds us how quickly nature can rewrite geography. Its colossal eruption in 1883 destroyed most of the island, darkened skies around the world, and generated tsunamis that reshaped nearby coastlines. Yet nature refused to leave the crater empty. Only decades later, a new volcano emerged from the sea. Anak Krakatau, the child of Krakatoa, an island literally growing before human eyes. Few places demonstrate Earth's endless creativity more clearly. Then, the asteroid arrives. It doesn't strike Indonesia directly. It doesn't need to. Shock waves racing through the surrounding ocean disturb the fragile balance beneath the islands. Volcanoes separated by hundreds of kilometers begin responding almost together. Some release towering ash columns. Others glow quietly at night as rivers of lava emerge from fresh fractures. The sky above Indonesia becomes a moving landscape of lightning, ash, steam, and volcanic clouds. From orbit, the islands appear like scattered lanterns glowing across the equatorial ocean. Yet something even more extraordinary is happening beneath the waves. Fresh magma rises through ancient cracks in the seafloor. Entire submarine volcanoes begin building new peaks toward the surface. Some will never reach daylight. Others, given enough centuries, will become tomorrow's islands. The map of Indonesia has never been permanent. Tonight, it changes once again. But while fire rises from the equator, another frozen giant is quietly awakening at the top of the world. A place where the landscape has been locked beneath ice for millions of years. A place so white, so silent, that it almost feels untouched by time. Until now. Our next destination is Greenland. Greenland, the frozen archive of Earth from orbit. Greenland appears almost impossibly simple, a vast sheet of brilliant white stretching from one horizon to another, bordered only by dark fjords and the deep blue waters of the Arctic Ocean. It looks frozen in time, but that is only the surface. Beneath nearly 3 kilometers of ice lies another Greenland entirely. An ancient world of jagged mountain ranges, enormous valleys, winding rivers, and deep canyons that existed long before the first glacier claimed the land. Some of those landscapes have remained hidden for millions of years. No wind has touched them. No rain has carved them. No human has ever stood upon them. The ice became their guardian. Every winter added another layer. Every snowfall quietly buried another page of Earth's history. Today, Greenland stores enough frozen water to raise global sea levels by several meters. It is far more than an island. It is one of Earth's greatest climate regulators. Its dazzling white surface reflects enormous amounts of sunlight back into space, helping cool the planet every single day. Without Greenland, Earth would already be a very different world. Then, the impacts begin changing the atmosphere. Ash from volcanoes mixes with fine dust thrown high above the planet. The sky darkens. Temperatures fluctuate in ways no season has ever experienced. Along Greenland's coast, enormous glaciers begin groaning beneath unfamiliar stresses. Deep fractures race across the ice faster than a person can run. The sound echoes through the frozen valleys like distant thunder. Then, one section finally breaks free. An iceberg the size of a major city slowly separates from the glacier before drifting into the Arctic Ocean. It is only the beginning. Across the island, ancient ice shelves continue fracturing, exposing dark granite mountains hidden since before modern humans existed. Fresh waterfalls pour from newly uncovered cliffs. Long buried valleys emerge into daylight. The landscape has not been created. It has simply been revealed. Yet Greenland is only one half of Earth's frozen story. At the opposite end of the planet lies an even greater mystery. A continent larger than Europe, hidden beneath ice so thick that it conceals entire mountain ranges, volcanoes, and lakes untouched for millions of years. As Earth's geography continues rewriting itself, our journey reaches its coldest destination, Antarctica. Antarctica, the continent beneath the ice, seen from space. Antarctica almost glows. Its vast white surface reflects sunlight with astonishing brilliance, making it one of the brightest landscapes on Earth. But appearances are deceptive. Beneath the ice lies a continent every bit as dramatic as the others. Towering mountain chains rival the Alps. Volcanoes sleep beneath kilometers of frozen silence. Hundreds of hidden lakes remain sealed beneath the ice, completely isolated from the outside world. Some scientists believe microorganisms have survived there for hundreds of thousands of years, adapting to darkness, pressure, and temperatures far below freezing. It is one of the last truly unexplored frontiers on Earth. Then, another asteroid strikes the Southern Ocean. The impact never touches Antarctica directly. It doesn't have to. Resulting shock waves race through the surrounding seas before colliding with the continent's immense floating ice shelves. For a brief moment, everything remains still. Then the ice begins speaking. Cracks spread across the frozen surface like lightning across the sky. Gigantic shelves that have remained attached to the continent for thousands of years slowly separate and drift toward the ocean. Hidden cliffs emerge. Dark mountain peaks appear where endless white once dominated the horizon. Fresh valleys catch sunlight for the first time in geological ages. Transformation is breathtaking. Not because Antarctica is disappearing, but because it is revealing another version of itself. A continent that existed long before the first snowflake ever fell. And while the frozen south quietly uncovers its forgotten landscapes, another world begins changing beneath endless forests. The largest rainforest on Earth is about to discover that even trees depend upon the invisible machinery of an ever-changing planet. Our next destination is the Amazon rainforest, eventually. The silence returns, not because the Earth has stopped changing, but because it's home. Until our next adventure, keep looking beyond the obvious. Because somewhere, at this very moment, Earth is quietly creating another impossible wonder. One that future generations may one day stand upon and simply call home.